How's it going, everybody, with another slammer of a video. Today we got worst teachers I've ever had. And to be honest, I've had some bad teachers in my past. I recently had one that was in a class that I didn't pass. I passed for the school, I just didn't pass for my major. Really sucks. But the main thing that really pissed me off, this guy's super nice. But it was a pretty hard class. So, I was ready for, the fact that I might have to work really hard. 3 weeks before finals, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to start studying to pass this final. I'm going to start, and I'm not going to stop. I went with flashcards. I went, to the study area. I went, I hired some tutors. Like, I went crazy to try and pass this class. And, I went up to him a week before the exam, and I was like, I want to make sure I pass this class. Because I went to every class, and I was never late. It's a little nerdy to say to never skip. I don't care. I'm paying to go to college. So I'm going to college. He tells me, "Oh, you'll pass," and I go, "Oh, nice." So I'm like, I don't know if that's a motivation. I don't know if that's just saying, you got this, or I'm just gonna pass you. So I was like, he's probably just gonna pass me if I do, well enough. Don't do well in the final, doesn't pass me. I email him. I'm like, bro, I went to every class. He said you could help me out. You could, I said I would pass. I hate to say it, but you did say that. He's like, well, I can't really help you out. It's unfair to the other students. Understandable, but fuck you for not passing. Kind of pissed me off. I just wanted to rant for a second. But, teachers can be hard. Teachers can. My whole family is, they've had their experiences. But, we're going to get into it. Some teachers are great, but these are some experiences that are ass. Let's get into it. Subscribe and leave a like.
Have you ever had a bad teacher? Like a really bad teacher? Can I go to the bathroom? Okay, jeez. Now think of the worst teacher that you've ever had. And did they ever take money from you? No, I don't think that anybody... I had that happen to me once. Okay, jeez. Back when I was in junior high school, I took a class about starting small businesses. In this class, we had to come up with our own business idea, build it, and then try to get people to pay for what we made with real money as a way to get education.
I do not think that is allowed at all.
On business. Business. Buy our product. No. Buy it. No. It's getting away. I really wanted to learn business, so I thought this was a great idea for a class. The only downside to this class was that money was involved. Real money. Yeah, that's real. And when real money's involved, people stop playing fair. The class got divided into 3 groups of 5. One team decided to sell cool fancy pens. Another group made screen printed t-shirts. And our group made magnets. Our team was the best one. Not to brag, but I mean that. We had a fantastic production line. We had solid profit margins. We even had a role for everyone. There was the math guy to figure out the numbers. People to make the magnets. We had distributors to sell the magnets. You want some magnets? And me, the artist. And I still have them. Ooh, look how cool they are. And faded with time. Oh, so nice. All I'm trying to say is that we...
Those actually drawings look pretty cool. I mean, I would buy one if it was like $5.
All of the money that we made was earned. After the whole class was
So what I'm guessing is he made all that money, right? And then the teacher just took it, which I would sue for, honestly.
We had made $150 total in profit, which was the most money in the class. Better than the pens, better than the t-shirts. We were really proud of ourselves. So this business class was located in the wood shop directly across the hallway from a different shop class. Why is this?
Oh yeah, there'd be like, that would not be $30, would it? That would be $30 each. That's nice.
Bring up? Great question that I pretended you asked. That classroom had a bunch of equipment and stuff in it that allowed us to make the products for the business class. And somehow, I don't know how this happened, the teacher from that other shop class heard about the money that we had made. We were called into her classroom and she asked what we made for our business. Magnets? Did you use the equipment from this room? Yeah, our teacher said that we could use school equipment to make our business. Well, actually...
Oh, that's fair. To be honest, that's fair. Like... Not taking all the money, but you did use school equipment, which costed them money, and then you sold it. That's understandable.
there's a school fee for using school resources. And since you guys used school resources, you'll have to pay the fee. And then she charged us money. She wasn't even our teacher, and she made us cough up an additional $50 of our hard-earned money just because of a made-up rule. I can make up rules too. There's a 200% fine for being a jerk to me. You know how in art class you have to pay like $75 for the paint and the canvas or whatever? That was the excuse to take the money. The thing is, we did.
I mean, that's not like that's kind of fair, to be honest. Like, it's kind of like just taking a bunch of products and then just selling it, and then you just make money. So you're not actually wasting any money buying the products. You're not gaining. It's a cost thing. So cost is how much money you lose throughout, trying to get a business together. You're not gaining. There's no revenue. It's just all profit. That's understandable too. As a first year business major, I understand a little bit of that kind of stuff. It's just there's no kind of revenue it's just all profit. There's no cost. It's just all profit. It makes sense that they would take money for it, and they also let you keep $100. So I would be a little appreciative of that.
From her shop room, but you know what tools that we used to make the magnets? A paper cutter. Squeak, squeak. Is that worth $50, do you think? You tell me. We couldn't do anything.
Well, how about like the magnets, themselves?
About it because she was a teacher, and all we were just a bunch of lowly students with no power and a bunch of cool magnets. In the end, we walked away with about $20 per person. $20 isn't nothing. It's like a Chipotle. One Chipotle.
One Chipotle? That's like 2 meals at Chick-fil-A.
I'm happy with the money that we earned, but she totally lied and pocketed that money. You know, this gives me a great business idea. Step 1, become a teacher. Step 2. So yeah, that was not a good teacher. But what can you do? You can eat your.
I mean, that's kind of. I don't think she's a bad teacher. I just think it's a bad situation. It's understandable that they needed the money, because if it's not just the woodcutter they use, they most likely used the magnets themselves, the utensils they also made it from. Like they're not just using the woodcutter unless they did actually buy the magnets. Understandable that he would be frustrated, but
feelings. Can I have some? No. Go get your own. The worst part is, despite the class, I'm still bad at business. Before the next bad teacher story, I have good news. Very good news. The ice cream sandwich plush is back, and he's bigger than ever. Literally. This time around, he's bigger and fluffier, and he's even passed the bar exam. Battery is legally defined as when the victim is aware of the oncoming attacker. It sure is, buddy. It's an amazing pillow. It's an amazing snuggle buddy. It can even do this. Go to this website to pre-order now. Pre-orders.
If I actually watch this guy enough, I probably would actually get that. That's kind of fire.
Be up for a while, but once we move into
if your name is literally ice cream sandwich on YouTube, it's a pretty easy business idea to make an ice cream sandwich.
They're gonna be closed.
Hey, he said he's bad at business. He made a whole product for his channel. It's a little bit of business.
If you want it, I'd go get it now. More details on production and shipping are on the website. Be sure to get yours today. Thank you, me, for sponsoring this video. You're welcome. This other time in junior high school, me and my friend Lance were sitting together at lunch. While we were hanging out, we just were messing with each other, which is a thing friends do. That's normal. We were just having fun. But then a teacher looked over and saw me holding Lance's Gatorade. From her perspective, she probably thought that I was being a real bully, and she decided it was a good idea to intervene. That's not a bad thing, by the way. It's just the way that she went about it was, well, I have notes. But you are thirsty. But you want a quenching delicious drink. If you don't want this fork to go into your neck, you give that back to him right now. Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, she needs to get fired. That's
okay.
And
then she walked away. I do not think that is proper conflict resolution.
Oh my
a lot
god.
of things go through my mind. Like, was she just messing around also? But people normally just mess with people that they know. Who are you? I've never talked.
Teachers nowadays, like, if they do anything, they get fired. She would have instantly lost her job. If you don't put that fucking Gatorade down, I'm going to grab this knife and press it as hard as I can into your neck. Or you could just give it back. Okay, I'll give it back. Yeah, that's what I thought. That would, firstly, I mean, if I'm junior high, that would scare the shit out of me. Secondly, you're gonna lose your job. I'm surprised she not lose her job.
In my life, and first impressions matter. One would think, and if it were a joke, she would probably say, "Haha, just kidding," but she didn't. That's a weird way to deliver a joke. Why? Did
Even if she was joking,
I don't know why. Hello? Why? Plus, there's some jokes that can't just be ended with "just kidding" and it makes everybody laugh. Sometimes a bit can go too far. Just kidding. But hello? That interaction was the worst. I hated that. All I wanted was to not ever interact with her again. Because, you know, pretty rough first impression. But then she called a meeting with me. I imagine she must have been nervous that I would go tell on her to another teacher. And then she would get in trouble. I go down to the main office to meet with her. She's in this big meeting room at a very large oval table with a lot of seats, and it's just her and just me. And she's like, "Hey, Andy, you know about lunch the other day where I told you to stop messing around? You know I was just kidding, right?" Yeah. This was clearly an intimidation tactic. But what was I gonna do? Sue her? All right, that's it. I'm suing. But legal services aren't cheap, so... You wanna buy a magnet? I'm not saying I'm the best at conflict resolution myself, but I think a better opener in a situation like that is everything okay? Instead of threatening someone with a fork. But what do I know? I'm just a guy with...
Taking advantage of a little kid that's low-key kind of crazy, I'm not gonna lie. Also, this video is kind of all in the right top right corner, so I'm not gonna block it, so I'm gonna move over here. Oh yeah. Okay. I kind of messed with it. I kind of messed with it. All right, we're used from now on.
Weird hair things. Chipotle? Plus, this is junior high school. What we were doing was tame compared to stuff the other students would do. If we're gonna violently punish students, let's tone it down from fork to maybe pool noodle would be more acceptable. You know how when you're young, you look to adults like they know all that is right and wrong? And if you needed help or justice, you could go to them in a time of need? Teacher, Billy keeps hitting me and taking my pencil. And also he tripped me and he stole all of my stuff from my backpack. And also he sawed me in half. Well, way back in first grade, I had this friend named Cody. I thought he was pretty cool. He thought I was pretty cool. So he gave me one of his toys. Communication at that age is pretty primitive, but you get the gist of what's going on. It was one of those puff air toys where you push buttons
that's cool.
to push air through the water and try to get the
I loved
rings
those things
on
when I
the
was a kid.
stems. Oh, we're definitely going to regionals this year. Foolishly, I had brought it to school with me because I cherished it, God forbid, and I wanted to play it at school. I was playing with it in class once, though, and that's on me. I should have been focusing more on my education. That was coloring in the fire truck. So, my bad. The teacher noticed me playing it and was like, "No, we are doing coloring now," and took it away from me. Fine, I did need to focus. I can't become the president of the United States if I don't cover the basics first. I'm going to make the wheels green. The problem was that she just wouldn't give it back. This was a long time ago, so I can't remember her reasoning, but I do remember that she just never gave it back to me. And because the toy was gone, it upset Cody and ultimately hurt our friendship. This betrayal for my teacher didn't compute with me. In my mind, I knew stealing bad, teacher's supposed to help, teacher took something of mine and made me worse off. None of that stuff mixed in my brain. This tastes like toilet water and ketchup. What's a little weird is that I remember that experience. I don't remember a lot of first grade, but I remember that toy and when a teacher took it away from me. When a teacher is good to you, you'll remember that forever. Unfortunately, when a teacher is bad to you, you'll also remember that forever.
I had the only bad experience I've had in high school. Like I didn't have a lot of bad experiences in high school. One of them happened freshman year. This is my math teacher. I'm never, you know, I'm not good at math. You know, I'm pretty stupid. But she gave us a test on the second to last day of school, and you know what I did with it? I stayed there. I sat there, didn't even pick up my pencil, and just looked at her for like half the test. Once she noticed me, I wrote my name on it and turned it in, and then just left. Kind of ballsy, but I don't regret it.
At night, recounting their sins. Some people do that. I don't do that. You okay, man? I could have gone to regionals. Anyway, recently I went to California, and while I was there, I hung out with Rushlight Invader, who I found has a bad teacher story, which I decided he should share.
All right, so one time I had a bad teacher and I hated her. And I had this one teacher who I look up to. He taught me how to paint. I love him. One day, my bad teacher was like, "Hey, let's go on a field trip. It will be out for 3 hours. We're going to the Andy Warhol Museum. It's going to be awesome. We go. But you know what happened?
What happened?
We came back to college, and the bad part was it was 3 hours after when we originally wanted to be there by.
So the field trip was making you miss the class for your favorite good teacher.
Yes. I was so angry the whole field trip. I'm like, this field trip's bleeding my other classes right now, and I am angry. Blah, blah, blah. Go back to school. And I storm into my class, my favorite class. This is like the main course, the main painting course, the main teacher. He is famous, okay? I only get to pay for an hour. Whatever, waste of a day.
That's annoying that she made the field trip run over so much. That's also wasting your tuition.
So she has the bright idea to do another field trip, Andy.
That's what is this allowed? Impromptu field trips that just go over?
Because like whenever I have a class and the teacher, might be going a little too long. Like let's say I have a class from 11:30 to 10:20, and then I also have a class at 10:30. I paid for that class at 10:30, so if the teacher anytime goes past like 5 minutes, or even like the actual time, I usually just genuinely leave because I'm like, okay, I paid for that next class. Usually, I think this is actually kind of a similar situation. I really like the next class, and I go into it all the time. And then I was like, I'm just going to leave. So as the professor is literally talking, he's 2 minutes over his time. Got up, said thank you. I always say thank you. Said thank you, and grabbed the door. And he goes, I'm not done. And I'm like, I got class. And then I just left. Next, class, he wasn't very happy with me. But I explained to him, I was like, I had a class in 5 minutes, and I had to go clear across campus. Brother did not, listen. He was like, I don't care. You still got to sit down. I'm like, well, actually, you went over the time. So, thank God I passed that class, because I did not really like that guy, but
For other classes?
pissed me off.
Yeah, that's why she's a bad teacher, Andy. It's not a good teacher video. It's the bad teacher video.
Inconsiderate.
Inconsiderate. Judge, send her out.
Send me out too. I need to use the bathroom.
Oh. So she wanted to go on another field trip, and I'm like, no. I tell her straight up, I'm like, I'm good. I'll stay back. She's like, what? You're not gonna join us? I promise we'll be on time this time. And I'm like, no. I'll just go with my good teacher's class and just stay with him all day. I have so much time to kill. I will paint with him. I'm gonna learn so much.
What is this bad teacher? What's her class? What is she teaching?
This teacher, she didn't know how to teach her class. She was the Photoshop teacher, and I was the only one that knew Photoshop, and I had to teach the class for her.
Oh no. That's bad.
She's terrible.
Wait, why is she taking you on field trips for Photoshop class?
She don't want to do her job.
That's really bad.
So she goes on this other field trip, and I'm there painting all day with my other teacher. To be fair, she arrived back on time. She's like, hi, Rush. I didn't see you at the field trip, and look, we're back on time. You're here, but where's the students at? The other 3 students, they're late. She's like, what? Actually, I know where they are. Yeah, this girl's at a bar nearby. The one guy just went home to sleep. The other guy went to go dirt bike riding. And they're like, how do you know this? I'm part of their class. I told me their plans. They were like, yeah, after the field trip, we're gonna ditch class and do our own things. Interesting. Turns towards the bad teacher. And then she laughed out of embarrassment.
Oh, so then the cat blew off the cat.
Yeah, you know the famous saying. The cat blew up the cat.
Yeah, that's the one everybody knows.
And, dude, it was so funny watching her face realize she just lost.
Wow, more concerned with being right than anything.
That teacher probably should get fired, to be honest. Like, that's actually pretty bad. Like, genuinely. If you guys did enjoy, though, make sure you leave a like, and let me know if you guys had any bad teachers in your past. If if it was in junior high, high school, all that kind of things, all those kind of things. Okay. But if you guys enjoy, like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And as always, have a good one and Merry Christmas.